What's up, guys? Mitchell J, the Scaredy Cat Guide, and want to take another look at Bitcoin and Litecoin and even Ethereum just to, one, kind of give an example of how we can use good risk reward principles in multiple different facets, whether it's trading or long term investing. And a lot of that has to do with entries and potential upside profit targets. So you can see on Bitcoin here. Um, we finally got a little bounce here. It actually happened at this longer term trend line. See it poke through, rallied above it, closed above it, and now we have the new candle that just formed. So hopefully it'll get above the 200-day moving average. We're essentially back at this descending channel. So we're really running into an intersection of price action points. We got a little bullish U-turn here, but that that's for another lesson, and you can find that in the crypto investing course. There's a whole video on bullish U-turns and bearish U-turns for that matter, exactly how to recognize them, what needs to occur for that to be made up, and to get confirmation of that pattern and that entry signal. So what I want to show here is really about risk and reward. So the reason that we use entry signals that have stop losses based on chart patterns is so we can set up good risk reward scenarios so that we're getting at least 2 to 1 or better on our risk reward. Because the bottom line is when you do that, you can be right half the time and you're not going to lose money. And that essentially is part of the edge. You need to have an edge when it comes to actively investing or trading, really even long-term investing. I mean, what is the edge? Why is it going to make money? So control what you can control. And you can't control the price action of a cryptocurrency or a stock for that matter. What you can control is where you enter, where you exit, and what your possible upside and downside are. So to give a broader example, looking at the chart of Bitcoin, after we got this big pullback from 20K, we're now at 7,600. Even if you got into Bitcoin as a long-term investment, right? Your downside, the absolute max, is 7,600 if you literally held it to zero. But your upside now is what? Well, it's the all-time high, which is about 20K. So just right there, you have a better than 2 to 1 risk reward. You have essentially about 2.5 to 1. And it's crazy to look at it that way, but think about it. People that were buying up at 17K, 15K, they didn't have that scenario. They were risking downside is all the way down, 15K, upside was only 5K. Now, totally turn that around. Now you got 76, upside 20. You know what I mean? It's better than 2.5 to 1 actually. And the more above 2 to 1 you can get, the better. I actually really like 3 to 1. Now, obviously, I use charting patterns for trade entries to get good prices, even for my core positions, but I also use stop losses as well if I want to trim off the position if I see us, going lower. So for instance, we got this entry signal today, and if we trade through this low of this prior candle, well, I'm probably going to take off the additional Bitcoin that I added. I'll still hold my core position, but the additional Bitcoin I add to that core position, I'll probably take off and look to get in lower. So, in that instance, I have a great risk reward because, downside, we're talking about 1,500. Upside, well, if I'm just holding it as a core position, again, upside's 20, but even if I was holding it for a trade, we're looking at essentially probably 11.5, this prior top here. So, right there is what, 41 or so. So again, better. It's about 2.5 to 1 because we're risking about 15 or so, and that's better than 2 to 1 on the upside. So that's really what I want to talk about now is risk reward, 2 to 1 or better. Got to do it. It's something I will continually preach. It sounds so simple, but people forget to do it. You need to know the upside and the downside every time you get into an investment, and you need to make that decision before you actually enter, because then emotions take over once you're in. Trust me, I tell you from experience, many years of experience. All right, that is it for now. We will see if we get any kind of follow through on this bounce on Bitcoin. Let me look at Litecoin real quick. So you see Litecoin did better because they actually didn't make a new bottom. It's hanging in there better. It stayed in this channel. It's above its 200-day moving average, unlike Bitcoin. So those are all positive things. So it's acting a little stronger than Bitcoin, but in the end, similar situation. We need to see if we can make a new high, and hopefully get out of this descending channel. So if you want to learn more about the technical aspects that I'm talking about in regards to the bullish U-turn pattern, again, I have a whole video on that. That is the second video in the 3 video course that I made, Scaredy Cat Guide Investing in Cryptocurrency. And I will put a link in the video notes that brings you to that. You can read more about what's basically the content of that course and what you'll learn and how I go about reading charts and using them to find good entry and exit points. So, all right, see you on the next one.